receivers, I think, have around 70 catches this year, and the other positions have around 40 or 30. Do you have any reason to believe why the Z's are getting more balls, or do you think it's a quarterback tendency? Or
Some of it can be, some of it can be how the defense plays or something like that. Also, I think the lineup's been a little more stable at Z, and so then, they get conditioned around things, and then, and I don't know what the disparity is. What is it with?
I think Z's 70, X is 43 catches, H 44, Y 31.
And X's tend to go a ways when they catch it. And what were the other two?
H is 44 and Y is 31.
Which is a decent balance. It's not perfect. We got a lot to Z. And then how many touches does F position have?
The running back? Yeah, 33.
Runs and catches?
33 catches.
Runs count too. Anyway, we're trying to have a balance with the touches. There'd be in the yards, and the with the backs, they're going to touch it more. And that's just the way the backs do, because they're closest to the quarterback. But at any rate, we want to make sure that we're getting production out of all 5 positions, and I think we are. We could elevate X, though. I think if we could, refine what X does on fade routes and things like that, we'd be headed right where we want to be.
Do you think maybe right-handed quarterbacks have a tendency to maybe to look more to that side of the field, the side that Z?
Some do. A lot have a tendency to the left because they're inclined to throw across their body. Now, I have had quarterbacks, since they can see so well to their right, that they may be top-heavy to the right, even though they're a right-handed quarterback. I think overall, and I'd have to look at Gordon closer, but I think overall they tend to favor throwing across their body. And you try not to have them favor anything because their read should guide them to where they're supposed to be. And it can be place selection too,
Do you ever see any kind of divide on a football team when one unit's playing much better and then maybe the offense feels like it has to overcompensate because the defense isn't playing well, or vice versa maybe?
Sometimes, and you got to fight against that. You can't have that because anybody that thinks they're specials just if they're as special as they think they are, they can go ahead and compensate. Everybody's got whatever they have to give out there, and you're trying to get all of that, but anybody that gets selfish like that, if you have a selfish team, you're going to have some problems.
Mike, has it been kind of an ongoing negotiation with HBO in terms of how much access they get?
Not really. Not with me. I mean, I guess I can call it how I see it, but no, I haven't noticed a lot.
So it doesn't seem like they've been a distraction so far?
Not so far. I don't think they have so far. I mean, if there's kind of delicate stuff and you have, say, a coaches meeting and you need guys to speak freely and not have it on camera, you have to do that. It's kind of like some guy, goes home and they're documenting a bunch of stuff, and you go home with your family or your wife or something. You don't need a bunch of cameras in there, although there are those in this country that kind of like that sort of thing. And you can watch it on TV pretty much any day of the week. But I think as far as getting something to operate with honest communication, I think you do need a certain amount of privacy so that people can speak freely.
Is Dallas Hobbs was Hobbs starting at ASU one of the positives of that game in terms of the changes?
I think Hobbs has continued to elevate. I think he's gotten better and better since camp. I think Hobbs is emerging and needs to continue to emerge. But young players, a lot of times will develop and hit an upswing, and I think Dallas is on one right now.
Have you guys looked more at what you guys were doing defensively in the first quarter to be successful? I think it was a shutout, and you had 3 sacks, and you seemed to be playing much better the first quarter. Do you guys look at that and try to channel that and apply point?
Well, if we'd finished, we just need to finish halves. You know, we need to finish halves. You know, but the biggest thing is, you know, you got to be just as fast, if not faster, at the end of each half as you are, you know, when you start it. I mean, it's gotta all be important.
What's your philosophy on if you guys win the coin toss? I think you guys have generally received. Does it depend on the game, or do you generally want to get the ball first if you can?
There's a variety of things. Weather can enter into it. The nature of the other team and what they like to do can enter into it, and you know what you feel like your strengths may be can enter into it. Most people defer. Yeah, I'm not as quick to defer, I guess, as a lot of people are.
Did you talk with Herm at all about what to expect from the HBO cameras, seeing as they went through it last week, or did you guys?
No, not really. Not really. I think they had a different group. If I recall correctly, Bill would probably know this. I think us and Penn State have the same group, and then them and Florida have the same group, I think.